Hey socialites, today I'm going to do a full face of Sephora Collection products. Keep in mind all Sephora Collection products are 30% off for everybody right now, regardless of your tier. So not only am I going to do my makeup using the products, there's some other recommendations that we'll talk about at the end of the video. I have quite a few swatches for you guys in case you wanted to see how some of the lip products look. So if you wanted to see how I got this look and all about Sephora Collection products, then keep watching. Okay, socialites, so today we're going to do a full face of Sephora Collection, which are some of my favorite products. So I've already done my skincare. Now for serum, I use the Sephora Vitamin C and E Serum Super Glow. Now my number one go-to vitamin C is from Sunday Riley. I told you guys about it on the Sephora recommendations video, but you guys, this one's a strong second. It does brighten and even out my skin tone, which is what you want a vitamin C to do. When I put it on my skin, I instantly see like a brighter glow, like I'm looking in the mirror because I see it now. And this one plumps a little bit. I'm not sure if it's the vitamin E that does this. The Sunday Riley vitamin C serum doesn't do the plumping, but it brightens a little bit more than this one, evens out the skin a little bit more. So that one is my go-to. But if I'm out of that one and there's no sale going on, this is the one that I use. So after I wash my face, I take about 3 drops. Now the directions say 1 to 2 drops. I like to use 3. I take 2 drops and I go here and then I do 1 drop on the forehead. And I just went over top with my Clinique 100 Hour Moisturizer. So that's all I have on my skin so far. But I do want to talk about the Sephora Collection Nourishing Moisturizer. And I touched on this a little bit on yesterday's video or on the recommendations video. And I've bought a few jars of this so far, and I love it because it's really gentle, clean, there's not much in it, there's no acids or anything in here. So if I'm using any type of retinol or acids on my skin where I feel like irritated or burning or plumping, I like to have something like this that's very gentle and cooling to sort of balance my skin back out. It's perfect for that. So because I need this makeup to last all day, I have a lot of running around to do. I'm going to use my e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Primer, which is my go-to. But I do have one of the Sephora Collection primers, which is a smooth and blur primer. And this one is okay if you've ever tried it before, but it doesn't really extend the wear of my makeup too much. So I'm going to stick with the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless, pretty much my T-zone areas. And Sephora Collection has 3 foundations. My favorite is the Sephora Reveal The Real Skin Tint. Now this is their newest complexion product that launched last year and it was on my 2024 favorites. This is very much similar to a foundation with the coverage you get. You can get like medium plus coverage. It's long lasting. I get about 10 hours of wear, so it's super long lasting and you get a natural skin finish. It also has a little bit of radiance to it, and this could go for any skin type because it's long wearing, but it's not dry or super matte, so it will work for dry skin, oily skin, or anywhere in between. Y'all, I raved about this in 2024. And they also have my second favorite from Sephora Collection as far as foundations is the Sephora Collection Powder Foundation. Now my number one favorite powder foundation is from Makeup Forever, but this one is a very close second. Very close. With the Makeup Forever foundation powder, I get about 5-6 hours of wear before I see shine if I don't have a primer. This one I get about 5 solid hours. Looks very similar on the skin, very smoothing, and after about 30 minutes to an hour, it starts to look like a liquid on your skin. This is beautiful. And they have a decent shade range in this. I'm 35P in the powder foundation. Third foundation they have is Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation. Now this is their more full coverage glam foundation. Now I wear this the least of the other two, not because I don't like it, but because this is sort of like a little bit heavy matte too. And matte is just really not my jam, although it's really, really pretty. I did a video This had to be over a year ago. Doing a full face of Sephora Collection, and I used this, and after that I had to go to the mall for something, and a lady stopped me about my makeup and she wanted to know what foundation I had on, and it was this one. But I don't wear it as much, but it gives you great coverage and it is beautiful. So I'll put a link to the video so you guys can see me wearing that foundation right there. So for today's video, I'm going to use the Sephora Reveal the Real, and it does come in like a squeeze tube like most skin tints do, and the color match is great, y'all. This one's in the shade 250O. Yep, 250OD. So the makeup brush I'm going to use is from Sephora Collection, the number 88 brush. I love this. Very great quality brush. I've had this brush about 3 years so far. Now there's two of their foundation brushes that I really like. The second one being the 64 brush, and that's this one here. That's the duo fiber brush. So this one packs more coverage, and this one can pack coverage too, but it can give you a little bit more of a sheared out look because of the duo fibers on it. But I really like both of them. So I can still clearly see the hyperpigmentation through here. So I'm gonna put a little bit more, but I'm already knowing that it's not gonna give me full coverage, which I'm okay with, and I can always conceal at the end if I wanted to. But it does build up more. See, it covers more. Look how skin-like it looks, and the color is so good. They really need to extend the shade range of this formula though, because they don't have a lot of shades in this formula. Now Sephora Collection has two concealers. Mine most used is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer, and I'm out of this, y'all. I've been scraping for a little bit, so I'll definitely be picking this up during the sale. By the time this video comes up, I'll probably have a new one. It's in the shade 35N. Now, when I went to create the link for this, I realized that I don't know if they're discontinuing this, but my shade is gone. You can't get it in any stores. So I hope they're not reformulating it. They may be. What can I do, right? And then the Sephora Best Skin Ever Glow Concealer is their newest concealer. I think this came out last year, I want to say. This one's in the shade 36. I'll show you guys what it looks like. So that's 36. Now this one is more of a sheer to medium coverage, and usually my foundation isn't sheer, so I find that this doesn't really match the vibe when I do a full look of makeup, so I'm not crazy about this one. So if you don't need very much coverage and you're going for a barely there or no makeup look, this would probably be good for you. Or if you wanted to highlight and you just need a little bit of concealer to brighten and you didn't want to add too much coverage or something too heavy, this one would be good as well. If you're trying to cover dark circles, this is not going to cut it. If they do come out with a new concealer, I really hope that it beats the Sephora Best Skin Ever. Now the Best Skin Ever concealer is a matte finish, so I like to use it on to cover dark spots on my face, or either to highlight my brow bone, not necessarily under eye, because I don't like something this matte under eye. But let me see if I could get at least a little bit out of here, and I'll go in the lower area but not too far up. I'm still going to check the stores and see if they have some on shelves. You never know. And I'm going to sort of mix a little bit of the glowing in there. Now Sephora Pro Collection does have the 71 concealer brush that's really good for blending out concealer. The Pro brushes are great quality, you guys, from the Pro brush line, because Sephora Collection does have Pro brushes and they have other brushes too, which in my opinion, they're kind of hit or miss, but the Pro brushes are always a hit. Great quality for an amazing price point. But usually I blend my under eye with a larger brush than this, or either a puff. So I'm going to use a puff. So the two formulas mixed together is not bad at all. It gives me decent coverage and it's pretty smooth. Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. And another one of their newer products is the Sephora Contour Stick. and they have them in some pretty deep shades, which is impressive. I have the shade medium to tan. This is what it looks like. It's a little deeper than what I typically wear, so this gives me more of like a true contour rather than like a bronzy look. So a little bit will go a very long way with this for me. Sephora Pro brush, this one is the number 47 brush. It reminds you of the same shape as one of my go-to BK Beauty brushes. This one is the BK Beauty 109. So see how similar they are? But the BK Beauty one is just a little bit more densely packed. The Sephora Collection one is a little bit softer because there's not as many hairs in it, but it's still a good quality brush in my opinion, especially for the price point. So I'm gonna use this to blend out the contour. And this does dry down, so me talking probably wasn't a good idea. I still got a little time to work with it, but this is one that you want to kind of blend right away. You don't want it to sit too long because see how I'm having to go over it, but that just means it'll be an oily girl's best friend. So because I want it a little bit brighter under eye, I'm going to take my e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. This one's in the shade Tan Neutral. It's really bright. And I'm gonna let this sit for like a minute or so. So to set those highlighted areas, I have two options. Sephora Collection actually has a translucent loose powder, you guys. And it's a decent loose powder. This is on a lot of people's favorites list. I like to use this just to set my highlighted areas and not so much to set all over, because all over it does slightly lighten my complexion, so I stick to the highlighted areas. And they also have this 12-hour setting and mattifying powder. Now this only comes in one shade, just like the loose powder only comes in one shade, which is this translucent. And this is pretty bright, you guys. So I only use this to sort of brighten under eye, almost like a finishing powder. See how lightweight this is? It's really lightweight. I can almost see my skin through like where the concealer is. So these products is going to give you more of like just a soft, natural look, nothing too heavy. But with the Best Skin Ever foundation, you can get that full coverage bead, especially if you can find this in your shade, the Best Skin Ever concealer. And these translucent powders are pretty matte, so I don't like to apply a lot on my puff. But with that being said, if you're one that likes to do that baking technique, this is going to be the loose powder for you. You love it. Okay, so time to bring some color back to our face. Now, these are some of my favorites out of all of my powders, period. These are the Sephora Collection Microsmooth powders. Now, I have two. Mahogany is my actual skin tone that I use all over, and this one is ebony that I use sort of like for bronzing. For powder, I'm going to use my Sephora Collection 59 brush. Now, they have, I want to say, the number 50 brush that's like a wider, fatter brush that I don't have, that I may pick up during the sale. I've been wanting to pick that brush up for a couple years. I don't know why I don't get it, because this one sets powder amazing, but I would rather something bigger and fluffier, because these are the type of brushes I like for bronzer, when I want to do like that blown out look, or if I want to sort of blow out powdered blush. I like these. I would like something a little bit, you know, wider, maybe even wider than this, or about this size, for like all over powder. But we're going to use the 59 brush today and go in with Mahogany. Now this gives you a natural finish. See how it's bringing that color back? These are some really good powders. A lot of people compare them to the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powder. You could definitely use it as an alternative. This one has a little less coverage than the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. And this one isn't as radiant as the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. It's not a matte powder though, but it's slightly more matte than the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. See how this just gave me life? I'm gonna spray my face a little bit, melt everything in before I move on. Okay, now that everything's melted in, I have a couple of options. So I could take the Microsmooth powder in ebony, which is like one shade deeper, and I can bronze with this, which I love, or I could go in with something kind of new. Now this is one of their newer products, which is a quad, you guys, and especially for the 30% off, I do recommend these. Now they are a baked formula, sort of like these. They feel similar to the Microsmooth powder, like kind of baked, like, and this is the medium to tan palette. This one works best for my skin tone, but they also have like a tan to dark or like a deep palette too. So if you're deeper than me, a lot deeper than me, then they definitely have a palette for you as well. And they also have a palette for like fair skin and everything. So I love that they covered every skin tone. So they have a couple of blushes in here. They have like a bronzer, a contour shade, and then they have like a golden highlight. So actually, let me show you guys, and I've used these in a couple of videos before, but let me show y'all sort of bronzer shade looks on. I'm going to use my Patrick Ta for face brush. This is a really good quality brush, by the way, dual-sided, so it's perfect for travel or just perfect for doing your makeup in general. The hairs in here is like really, really good, great quality. So I'm going to go right in. I actually want to use it on both sides now. And it has a slight bit of sheen to it. It's not completely matte. So it's going to give you a really soft glow. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's soft. It's not too much. It's not glittery or anything, but it gives you like a nice soft glow. I'm just going to use a Makeup by Ariell brush for that. I'm going to going in with the deeper shade first. And I'll apply that up here. And these have like a bit of a glow to them as well. They're not super pigmented. They're like the typical like baked blush sort of formula. I'm actually gonna take this one all the way down. I'm going to blend out that Merit complexion stick with another Patrick Ta brush. This is the nose brush. It's for contour 3 brush. And you guys, when I tell you it does the work for you for nose contour, look at the shape of that. How unique. Love this brush. And then the eyeshadow blending brush side, or you can use this for nose contour as well, is really, really good. Patrick Ta really has some great quality brushes. Brush up my brows with my Ariell brow glue. So for brow pencil, you're really not going to find a brow pencil that's going to beat the Merit brow pencil. It's excellent. The way it glides on top of brow gel is second to none, you guys. But I'm out of it. I want to pick one up during the sale, you guys, but you don't get a lot of product in this. So I may pick one up just because I love it so much, but then pick up 2 of the Sephora Collection. My number 1 used to be the Sephora Collection Micro Brow Pencil, which is what we're going to use today. This is an excellent pencil, especially for the price point and the 30% off. I do recommend getting a couple of them at least, so it can last you until the next sale. That's usually what I do. And the color that I use is soft charcoal, but it does come in several colors. I like soft charcoal because it's cool toned. It's not going to give me that warm or reddish brown look. I'm going to use that Sephora Collection Pro Brush, the 71 concealer brush, to blend out the concealer for my brow bone highlight. And this concealer was the best skin ever that I'm still scraping out, the matte one. And I'm going to set with a little bit of the Sephora loose powder. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Sephora Collection eyeshadows. They are very much hit or miss. When it comes to like their palettes, Some of them are good, some of them aren't. It just depends. So I like to go into the store and actually swatch them myself. If they're like powdery and flaky, you know it's not going to really stick to the eye and the quality is probably not good. But sometimes they have some gems. In the last sale, I picked up these really big palettes. I got 2 of them. They're different color stories, but look, you got this big palette and they have another color story that had like blues in it that's really pretty. Y'all, when I tell you high quality, it was just such a steal. I'm so happy I got these, but they were like limited edition. I don't know why they don't make the good stuff permanent. They also have their single shadows, which a lot of them they've discontinued and they've been coming out with new colors and new formulas and stuff. So for the eyeshadows, I do recommend you go in store and try to get a feel for them. Like touch them, see how it swatches on your hand, if it's smooth, because some of them are really buttery and smooth. That may be something I do. Go in there, swatch them all, and let you guys know which ones are worth buying. If that's something you guys would like to see, comment down below and let me know. I might go in there and do that so we can know which shades are worth picking up. So for this video, I'm going to use the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 palette, which is my go-to. So I'm going to go in with this one. If you wanted a good sturdy brush for your crease that blends out well, this 27 brush is really good, but I like that it sort of points to the tip, because if you want to do detail work with your eyeshadow, you could get in there with this brush too. You know how some brushes are too fluffy for that? This BK Beauty 212, I love it for the crease. Fluffy, it blends out so good, but notice the difference. The 27 brush is a little stiffer and has a tiny bit more of a point. I can't do detail work with this. It'll be tough, but I can with the Sephora 27. I'm going to take a combination of these 2 shades and blend it in the crease. I'm going to put this shade in the inner corner and then this shade probably in the second half. And this is my Sephora Collection number 15 Pro brush, by the way. It's a small shader brush. And then flip the brush around and go in to the second shade. I'm going to take an old Morphe brush that comes to more of a point. The number has rubbed off on it, and go in with the reddish brown, and that's what I'm going to use in my outer third. Now this is the Sephora Collection 12-hour ink liquid liner, and these are pretty good too. This is my second time purchasing this one, and it's in the shade chocolate brown. And I'm just going to do a little baby wing just in the outer corner. I don't want to take it all the way in. Now, Sephora Collection has these 12-hour pencils that have me in a chokehold, okay? Every sale I pick up like 1 or 2 new shades, and they're long lasting. They give you enough playing time to blend them out if you like to smudge your liners, and they stay longer than a lot of my other pencils that I use. So my most used is gonna be a shade called Coconut. I recommend this every sale, and I use this in my waterline. It's like one of those nudie shades. You know how sometimes you can put white in the waterline? Now this one it's not stark white, so it looks a little bit more natural, a little bit more wearable in the waterline, especially for, you know, brown and dark skin tones. I also have Tiramisu, which is a matte brown. It's a deep brown, so that's Tiramisu. And then I have Cocoa, and Cocoa is a shimmer. It's like a brown shimmer. Hopefully the camera's picking up the glitter. And then a fun shade. I picked this one up during the last sale, and this one's called Aloha. And I use this in a makeup tutorial. I'll put a link right there in case you guys want to see it, where I did the smoky burgundy eye. This one is beautiful, y'all. So unexpected. I love this. And then one that I use every now and again, this one is called Waterfall, and I like this one too. It's a beautiful kind of like aqua marine blue. So I'm gonna go in with Coconut. Same Morphe brush with what's left over to smudge underneath the bottom. Now, Sephora Collection does have several mascaras, but the one that I have is the Love the Lift, and I really do like it. It really does a good job at lifting and curling your lashes up. I don't know what type of technology they have that does that. This is what the wand looks like, but just like it lifts and curls your lashes up at the top, it does the same for the bottom. So if you have like really long or curly eyelashes already, this one may not be for you because it's really gonna make them curl even more, but I like it on me, especially at the top. I like it at the top a little bit more than I do at the bottom. So I'm gonna take the Sephora 12-hour powder with my Sephora Pro brush. This is the number 98 brush, and I'm gonna use that to just brighten just in the inner corner. Now, one of my favorite Sephora Collection products is this luminizer. It's in the shade Blinding Bronze. They have a few shades. All the shades are actually really pretty, but this is the deepest one. I'm just gonna take my Ami Collet brush and add a little bit of glow. So Sephora Collection does have some really creamy lip liners. So I'm gonna go in with Mesquite. And I have no idea what lip I'm about to do, y'all. And then a little bit of molasses on top. Molasses is really, really dark, so I barely wear it because it's sort of dramatic on me. So I'm just sort of mixing it. Now, I'm very much a fan of Sephora's lip products as far as the lipsticks in the bullet form, the liquid lipsticks, and their plumping glosses are my absolute favorite, y'all. So I'm gonna swatch a few of their lipsticks. This one's in the shade 25. Now, these are all gonna be their matte formulas. So this one's 25. Beautiful, perfect for spring, summer. This one's 18. Beautiful matte red. 10. Pretty pink. 21, which is my most used, and 21 is nude. And I also have one of their creamy bullets, and this one is in the shade 3, and I'll put it up here. And 3 is deeper than 21, but it's a pretty neutral shade. Okay, so let's swatch some of the liquid lipsticks, and we'll start off with the reds because I have more reds than any shades. So this one is 01, which is my favorite, my most used. So that's 01. And then next is 129. A 1 and 129. This one is 95. So that's a 95. And I also have 94, which is one of my favorites, and I can't seem to find it. That is like hurting my feelings. It might be in a purse or something. So this one is 02, which is a nude shade, 02. This one is 05, 02, 05. This one's 13, 02, 05, 13. And 06 is that brighter pink. I also have 32, which I use to brighten in the center if I ever want to do an ombre lip, which is rare these days, but this one is 32. I'll put it on the side of the reds. That's 32. So I'm gonna go with 01, the brighter red. I guess we'll just do a red lip today. Now, the Sephora plumping glosses are some of my favorite that they offer at Sephora. These are my second favorite to the Lawless. Before I got introduced to the Lawless lip glosses, these were my number one. And these are a very close second. So my favorite shade, which this is already like half gone, is 08, which is a beautiful like mauve shade that has glitter reflex in it. And this is another formula that makes your lips kind of look like glass, like that glass effect. It just makes your lips look completely smooth over. And then I have 07, which is a beautiful soft pink, and that's 07. I have 02, which is my second most used, which is a nude color, and that's 02. And then I have number 11, which is like a fun, I'll put that one over the top. Like a fun, glittery, iridescent shade, like one of those fairy shades that has like pink and purple reflex in it, and that's this one. So if you wanted to get like the effect of the Lawless lip glosses, or you just didn't want to pay those Lawless prices, you could get the same look for a fraction of the price with the Sephora Collection plumping glosses. Now before we wrap up, I do want to quickly mention some Sephora Collection products that I didn't get to use today, but that I highly recommend. And one is this Sephora Collection sponge. Hopefully they still have it. I know they switch out their sponges, but this particular one with the point and the slant is so good. You're gonna wet it, squeeze every bit of water out that you can, and you're gonna use it damp. Y'all, the quality is better than the actual Beauty Blender brand. And they also have these Sephora Collection velour puffs that are excellent. This is one of the best quality, or this might be the best quality puff that I own. These are really good, and I love the size of them. Now, I got introduced to the Sephora Collection body butter during the last sale, and this is like a shea butter sort of scent. It has 93% ingredients from natural origin. Smells like shea butter, but just a little bit sweeter. It has decent hydration. Now this isn't one that's gonna make a super high shine, and you're not gonna be like super hydrated the next day, but it's a good moisturizer, like out of the shower, just to be hydrated for the day. This is a good one. Another product that I'm out of, I'll pop a picture right there, is the Sephora Collection little cotton pads that you can use for like your toner. They're soft, they're a large size. They're actually larger than the Suwasu, depending on what size you like, but with the sales price, you pay like $2 something a pack. And the quality of them are really good. I highly recommend those. And then last is the Sephora Collection Daily Brush Cleaner. You get your towel or your paper towel. I spray the paper towel, and I go in like after I use my brush, and you just wipe it down on the paper towel, and it goes completely clean. So after I do my makeup, I'll do that maybe once. You could probably get away with doing it 2 or 3 times, but because I have problematic skin, I don't want to chance it. I usually clean it once that way after I finish my makeup, and then the second time I'll do a deep clean. For a quick clean after you do your makeup on your brushes, the Daily Brush Cleaner is pretty good. This is a jumbo one. They have a couple different sizes, but I got the biggest size because I went through a smaller size already. So hopefully this video was helpful. Let me know, what is your favorite Sephora Collection product? I'll have everything I mentioned linked in the description box, as well as on the YouTube shopping tab, so be sure to check that out. And if you're new here, welcome. I'd love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 'Cause I've been where you are. You're too scared to show me love, 'cause too fresh with the scars.